All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Great Lakes Brewing Company, and they're out of Cleveland, Ohio, and this is their Hazecraft IPA. So they're calling this one a Hazy IPA, basically a New England-style IPA that comes in at 6.7% alcohol by volume, 40 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is, but it does have a Best By date of November 25th, 2020 on it. So at the time of review, we're about 6 weeks away from that date, so I'm going to say this is relatively fresh. It's always awesome to see bigger craft breweries and bigger regional craft breweries basically give hazies a try, dive into the hazy side of the pool, so to speak, because usually they have a great price point, pretty good availability, and it's always fun to see what they can do. So I'm quite excited to get into this one. Great Lakes, I've been drinking them since I got into craft beer. They make some great beers. They make a lot of like English and German style beers, and their Edmund Fitzgerald Porter, which I've reviewed on the channel before, is still one of my favorite American porters of all time. They just do a really good job. So this one is brewed with Azacca, Lemondrop, and Simcoe hops, and haven't heard Lemondrop in a while. It was very popular like 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe not exactly. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago, and you just don't see it too often in hazies anymore. Blast into orbit through a hazy galaxy of otherworldly tropical fruit aromas. It's funny to say hazy galaxy when they don't use galaxy here. It would have been perfect. Anyway, let's crack this one open and get into the hashtag proper glassware. See what we got going on here. I'm pretty pumped up to give this one a go. I'm hoping it's quite tasty. A lot of times when you drink the regional and bigger craft breweries, hazy, sometimes they they do a good job. Sometimes not the greatest. We'll see. I'm just gonna pour the rest in. I don't know what I'm doing. We got enough room to get the schnoz in there and the whole nine. Stupid. Anyway, so yeah, that's hazy. That's a bit darker than a lot of hazies I've been drinking. As this like orange color, very murky, turbid orange color. Definitely, no clarity to it. Has about a finger and a half of this bright white, creamy and fluffy looking head. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a darker hazy to me. Anyway, let's get a nose. Okay, I was going to say, this didn't have a big aroma. But now that I'm diving in, there is a lot of stone fruit. Mango is what I'm really getting. A really nice, like, overripe and sweeter mango. Yeah, peach, apricot. Definitely stone fruits. So that underlying, like, citrus, more of like a zesty citrus, kind of like a lemon, orange, tangerine type of thing. Slight floral character as well. Yeah, as this opens up in the glass, like the first couple sniffs, I was just like, man, it doesn't smell like much, but it's starting to open up in the glass, and I'm starting to pick up some nice notes. A little bit of like an underlying, almost like honey kind of malt character. Probably not using honey malt, but that's just what I'm smelling. Yeah, it smells like really nice overripened stone fruits, mangoes, peaches, things of that nature. A little bit of zesty citrus and a floral tone. Doesn't smell bad. Smells pretty good, actually. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, it's solid. Pretty solid. I'll tell you what. They did an absolutely fantastic job with the body and the mouthfeel on this one, because it's the mouthfeel especially. So the body, 6.7%, it's medium body, perfect. The mouthfeel, there is carbonation. You can feel it on the tongue, but man, this has such a luscious and pillowy mouthfeel. Like I didn't expect that from this beer. Like more often than not, when it comes to like the bigger breweries doing hazy IPAs, the one thing that usually lacks for me is that mouthfeel. Like so many of the great New England style IPAs that I love, they're just so soft, smooth, and creamy. It's like fucking putting your head on a pillow mouthfeel wise. This is close to like some of the upper echelon mouthfeels. I can't believe that. All right, mouthfeel is fantastic. Body nice. Like I said, perfect for what it is. The flavor is not as boisterous and, dare I say, bombastic. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brews as the nose, but I'm still getting more of that. I think there's more citrus characters in the taste, but I'm still getting that overripened mango, overripened peach. Right at the forefront, that hits underlying citrus, zesty citrus, almost a citrus juice too. Pass through the palate, mid-palate. I'm getting a floral aspect, but I'm getting like almost like a resinous pine, but it's not big. It's just kind of noticeable. I wasn't getting that in the nose either. That hits right middle of the palate. And then it finishes with this moderate bitterness. So it has a little bit more bitterness than most, within a hazy IPA. This is kind of like a hybrid to me, like kind of like New England style meets West Coast, because I'm getting that pine, I'm getting more of a moderate bitterness, but it actually helps it out because it's sweet at the forefront, but then you cut it with that zesty citrus, that pine, the floral sensation, and then it has this nice semi-dry, moderate bitterness on the back of the palate. This does not lean too sweet. Sometimes New England styles or hazy IPAs can be too sweet. This is not the case with this beer. Yeah, I think this is nice. It's actually not, I thought after the first sniff, I thought I was like, this is gonna be underwhelming, but it's not. It's fucking really nice. All right, so 6.7%. I cannot detect this is anywhere close to 7. I'd honestly guess like 5.5 to 6. Maybe the body of the mouthfeel would say, okay, this is like 6.5%, but you can't taste the alcohol. Yeah, this is nice. Listen, I have reviewed hundreds of New England style and hazy IPAs on my channel. I've drank hundreds and hundreds more that I've not reviewed. This is not the best. This is not, close to the best, but for a bigger regional brewery that's throwing this beer out there, you can get it if you see Great Lakes, and the price point, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is fantastic. This is really well done. I think flavor-wise, this is probably like a 3.75, maybe 3.85 out of 5. But because of that fucking fantastic mouthfeel and everything else that I talked about, I'm going to bump this up to a 4 out of 5. So Hazecraft IPA from Great Lakes, 4 out of 5. It might be a bit high for some. I'm sure some people drank this one, probably gave it like a 3.5, 3.75. But honestly, that mouthfeel kind of just fucking surprised me, came out of left field, and I cannot deny that mouthfeel is very appropriate for the style. So 4 out of 5 for Hazecraft IPA, damn good hazy, especially when you take price point and availability into consideration. So availability, wherever you see Great Lakes, typically in the Northeast and in the Midwest. Yeah, I saw this one, and it was, with all the rest of the Great Lakes beers, and it was relatively fresh, so I grabbed it. And price point, in my area, I don't know where it is anywhere else, $9.99 a six-pack. I bought a single can, and the single can was under $2. It's $9.99 for a six-pack. Like, what the fuck? That's fucking dynamite. So, for $1.67 a can, I know it's 12 ounces, not a pounder, but still, if you converted, like, say, like $2 for a 16-ounce can, that's a great deal. So I'm gonna pick up some more of this. Maybe if I can see it a bit fresher. I'm assuming this is 6 weeks old, because typically I think with Great Lakes they put 90 days out for their hop forward offering. So if that's the case, this was probably let's see. Yeah, this was probably brewed in probably August 25th, and I'm drinking this one probably about 6 or 7 weeks old. If that is the case, and this is 6 or 7 weeks old, it's holding up quite well. So I'm gonna see if I can get this one super, super fresh, like a week or two old. I don't think I'll re-review it, but I just want to try it again. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, if anybody out there has had this one, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be some people that are like, it's underwhelming, and I'm sure other people will have the same opinion I do, but it's always fun hearing everyone's opinions out there. So throw in the comment section if you've had this one before, what you thought about it, because like I said, the thing that stands out about this one is the epic mouthfeel. It's definitely in line with some of the upper echelon New England style IPA producers, and that's cool to see from Great Lakes, because they don't do hazies. They do hop forward beers and whatnot, but they don't do hazies, and they did one, and it's pretty fucking good. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one, cheers.